Hey, so I just put my book Ghost at Dawn up for pre-order. You can get it wherever you buy your ebooks. And I figured I would take an opportunity to tell you a little bit about it, where the idea came from, how I executed this book, and why it's cool. So, hang on, I'm walking through the woods while I do it. So a lot of people have different ideas about where ideas come from and what creativity is. Some people think the universe just kind of puts it out there and you tune into the frequency. I don't know if I believe that. Some people say there's some kind of zeitgeist where you kind of tune into the collective unconscious. Again, I don't know if I believe that. Maybe, who knows? I think there's creative borrowing, theft, inspiration. You just suddenly get an idea. Yes, I think, well, maybe all those things are there. I think that's what happened with Ghost at Dawn. But the thing is, to lure creativity in, you have to do it every day. So I am a firm believer in writing every day, and that's what I do. When I do, good things happen sometimes, and that's what happened with what turned into Ghost at Dawn, because I was working on Ghost at Dusk, a standalone horror novel that I wrote a couple of years back, and it had gone through kind of a weird thing where I had started it and then put it away for a long time when I worked on the Books of Conjuring, and then I came back to it and I liked it a lot. I didn't know how to end it, which was the problem. But then one day when I was working on it, there was this scene where Tim Lane, the narrator of that book, is up on his roof and he looks across the way and he sees this figure on another roof in the neighborhood, and it turns out to be the ghost of Kyle O'Brien. And Tim had never seen another ghost before, even though he was a ghost. So when he goes over there, he starts talking with this kid ghost, and suddenly the name Karen Jarvis just popped out of my brain, popped out of Kyle's mouth, and lodged somewhere in the back of my head. And the good thing was, she saved my bacon because I didn't know how to end that book, and she saved Tim's bacon in the story because she was a genius who figured out how to lead them all to where they needed to go. So fast forward a few years. When I wrote Ghost at Dusk, I planned on it just being a standalone like my other horror books. But after I wrote The Governor's Witch, which was the most recent Kate Finch novel last year, I was kicking around ideas afterwards about what I want to write, and I hate that phase so much. I'm like angsty and cranky, and I think I'll never get a good idea again or ever write a book again, and it's really hard to be a writer. No, it's not really. But when I'm in that mood, it kind of feels like it. And as the story took shape in my head, I realized that she wasn't just like kind of a genius, but she was a real genius, profoundly gifted, and all that goes along with that. And I've always had a fascination with genius and geniuses. In particular, the kind of genius where somebody's so smart at something that they think they're smart at everything, which isn't true. That's not how it works. But that's what they think. That kind of pushed me forward to like, how could she be so smart but kind of fooling herself at the same time? So I thought that was kind of a cool piece of momentum to get me into that story. And as I've detailed in my newsletter, I approached this book in a kind of a weird way where I actually dictated the first draft and then used various computer software to transcribe that, and you know, with the intention that I would go through it in subsequent drafts by hand, which I did. The problem was that first draft came in at over 200,000 words, which is ridiculous. Nobody writes horror novels that big except for that one guy who we know, and I'm not him. By doing that first draft that way, though, I was able to improvise my way into what I thought of as kind of rich veins of emotion. It probably sounds pretentious, but that's what I was looking for, and that's what I got. And so when I took a long time to go through that draft, I took away everything that wasn't that. It was like a giant Jenga that I was working on and hoping the entire way that it wasn't going to topple. And I think I ended up at about 78,000 words, which is pretty good. And I think the 78,000 words that I kept were the right ones. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use that exact technique again because it was kind of wasteful and not really as fast as I thought it was going to be. But I don't know. I mean, I think the book turned out great. So, maybe that is the way I'm going to do my next books. One of the things about the book is that Karen is trapped in a house with her family for eternity. And it honestly didn't occur to me until later that as I was writing this book throughout 2020 and 2021, that there might have been some kind of, I don't know, some kind of theme about being trapped in a house with your family. I don't know. What was I thinking? Now, it turns out that Ghost at Dawn is technically a prequel to Ghost at Dusk, although I really designed it so you don't have to read one to read the other, or you could read either of them in either order and it will just make the story better. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background about the book. Like I said, it is available for pre-order right now. If you want to find out more information, you can go to my site, kevandale.com. If you want to find out more information, you can join my Readers Club, and I send out a monthly newsletter with all the background, behind the scenes, cool stuff. I also put in special deals. You get free stuff. I do that quite a bit. So thanks for checking out this video, and I hope all my walking around in the woods didn't make you motion sick. I also had a deer just kind of jump out at me. My daughter's here too. She's over there. I'm not going to show her, but those are her footsteps approaching. Anyways, back up, child. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.